So, let's get into it. So, how to understand it's kind of cold in New York. You know what I mean? It is cold in New York, but how to understand the Virgo man. So, okay, I'm a Virgo. Okay. So first and foremost, Virgos are mutable signs, right? Which means that they can be flexible. And herein lies their secret power. Virgo rules the timeline of experience. So the planet Earth physically slash the moon, because the moon used to be a piece of the Earth, because the moon is nothing but a crater that broke apart from the Earth. The Earth used to be much bigger or larger than what it is now, right? Thinking about if I should say too much, but with that being said, physically the Earth is as old as 67 trillion years, and that's just in the physical. We're not even talking about spirituality or in the spirit or in the darkness, right? As it says that the Earth was shapeless and void, meaning that it was essentially darkness that ran across it, stuff like this. Anyway, regardless of the who or the what, 67 trillion years old is Virgo. Rules that timeline of experience. So it rules all of the things that has happened over the course of these years. Now, when you fit that into a person, right, or an archetype, you have a person who lives many lives. And especially if they are really living their life and they are learning their lessons, like I have, fortunately, lived many lives. Got 1,000,001 stories, just like how it is I say here. I have 1,000,001 stories to tell y'all, because I actually know what I'm talking about, because I've actually had hands-on, first-hand experience with these things. Yeah. So when you get someone like that, you have, archetypically, you have the shy type of Virgo. You have 4 types. You have the shy type, you have the Gigolo, you have the Sheister, and then you have the Gangsta. The shy type of Virgo is the type of Virgo that is quiet, right? Most people think that this person is boring, unassuming. They don't have a whole lot of stuff going on. Generally unassuming. People tend to think that this person is boring, right? But this person actually has hidden dark secrets. This type of Virgo has hidden dark secrets that this type of Virgo will not tell anybody. And only the people who were there at the time to witness what was going on or participate actually knows what's up. And all of these Virgos are one and the same. They're just differentiating in degrees, meaning that you may have that essentially you have some that they all have these 4 types in us, because I'm a Virgo. You all have these 4 types in us, but you may have them that express one of these 4, or 2 out of these 4, 3 out of these 4, or 4 out of these 4 differently. With, excuse me, with the Gigolo type, this type of Virgo, this expression of Virgo, I should say, this is the type of Virgo expression where this person is a very slick talker. They tend to enrapture the people whom they are romantically interested in. And people see this Virgo that is expressing that as so seductive and attractive. They will allow this type of Virgo to do that. And they'll know good and well that it could be game. but they'll do it. They will let this Virgo run that on them because because this type of Virgo, or this expression of Virgo, is so charming, so handsome, they just can't resist, or they find it hard to resist. I know, because I've done that a couple of times. The Sheister, okay? The Sheister Virgo is the type of Virgo where very manipulative. They can be a con man, a hustler, right? A liar, a deceiver, a manipulator. Manipulation and lying are two slightly different things, subtle. A lot of people say a lie they say a lie of an omission. That's not true. That's manipulation. That's not necessarily a lie. What a lie is if somebody asks you, can you point me where such and such is, and you say the exact opposite of where the truth is, especially when you know. So you're intentionally doing that. Manipulation is sometimes subtle or unintentional, or it can be something that is intentional. Either way, the human condition, we deal with manipulation. Whether or not you want to is irrelevant. We all manipulate each other. Because if I ask a person to do something for me, that's still a form of manipulation. Now, it's passive manipulation. I'm not trying to set this person up and put them in a line of danger per se, but underlining it, I do know that it is manipulation. And I study manipulation and sleight of hand and sleight of hand and card tricks and, street magic and stuff like this. So I can actually talk about what manipulation is in detail. Okay? Now, this type of Virgo is the type of Virgo that you have to be very careful with this type, because this type of Virgo is a type of Virgo that you think that this Virgo is on your team and is loyal to you and is down for whatever you've got going on. But in actuality, this type of Virgo is not. And this person can be working a con job on you. So you have to ask yourself, with this type of Virgo expression, if this type of Virgo is being a little bit too into what you want and too into you, 9 chances out of 10, they're not rocking with you the way you think. And then last but not least, you have the fourth type, which is the gangster, or the thug, or the gangster. A lot of times people underestimate Virgo men, because they think that Virgo men are somehow soft, when in actuality, that's not necessarily true. Virgo men who express this type of expression are survivalists, and they can be ruthless when time comes. Almost cruel, borderline cruel, when the time to survive comes. Remember, Virgo and Cancer sextile each other, which means that remember, there's only 60 degrees. There's only 60 degrees that separate them. What's the 60 degrees? Leo. Okay? All right? So you have to be very careful when it comes to dealing with all 4 of these types. And they're ultimately one and the same. But like I said, you'll have varying degrees, right? Where people express 1, 2, 3, all 4, X, Y, Z. So the situation with this type of guy is, when it comes to the shy type, this is a person who is hiding something, right? Either intentionally, okay, or unintentionally, where they don't necessarily feel comfortable. They're nervous about something, right? Their nerves are acting up, or they're in a situation where, they're not trying to hurt you, right? When it comes to the Gigolo, this is the type of person who has been hurt, tried relationships, hurt, things didn't necessarily go this person's way. So this person is just trying to kind of be like Gemini and have fun, not necessarily trying to be with anyone long term, more so have fun. Now, and then you have the Sheister type. This is the type of person that, you know, you'd be hard on your luck if you're trying to change this person, because this person isn't just interested in the results of the con, right? This person is also interested in the game. They're deep in the game. And what I mean when I say the game is the game of trying to get attention, trying to manipulate people, lying type of situation. They're deep in that game. You know what I mean? And then you have the thug or the gangster. This person can be dangerous too, in the sense of, well, they're all dangerous, but this person can be dangerous for the fact that this person is ruthless. This type of a Virgo expression is ruthless, and nothing in the world is going to stop them from surviving, no matter what. So, why that's important to talk about in the first place is because Virgo essentially deals with so many other things. Washington, D.C., you know, the Capitol building, and the way that Washington, D.C. is laid out is up under the constellation, of Virgo. And Virgo used to be the last zodiac sign. It just used to be 6 until it separated itself into 12, because people started to also understand that there was different expressions and things of this nature. But esoterically, there's a reason why, right? The Moors started to tamper with genetics, right? This is where it is that you get the 12 tribes of Shabazz and things of this nature, right? You could look into that. But the Moors started to tamper with genetics. But the constellation of Virgo, which I happen to be, is ancient, okay? It's ancient. Virgo, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra are the only zodiac signs that are not animals. And there's a reason for that. Aquarius is the masculine principle, or the male. The Virgo is the female. The Libra is the justice scales, okay? And the sword. And Gemini represents the twins. It can either represent physical twins, as far as identical twins, paternity twins, but it can also represent the twins in the sense of people who meet each other who are very much alike, like-minded, and they do a lot of the same things, but ultimately they're just, it's kind of like they're just like two people, but they have a lot in common with each other, or an expression of the twin flame thing. But we'll get to that in another video. And Virgo or Aquarius, the man and the woman, is supposed to hold the scales up and the sword, because Libra is the scales and i.e. the sword. That's the reason why in the Tarot, the Justice card, if you see the Justice, you have the judge with the crown on, right? The king. And you have the left hand, the scales, which is fire, scales of Aries. We're going to get into that. We're going to get deeper into that. Just wait. I told y'all these videos are going to be groundbreaking. And then you have the sword in his right hand. So the sword is in his right hand facing west. And the scales of Aries, i.e. Libra, exact opposite sign, are facing the east. And remember what I told you about west being air and fire being east. So Virgo and Aquarius are supposed to hold the scales. They are supposed to cast judgment on people and things and ideas that cannot work anymore, or justified in their solidarity and their continuity. meaning traditions, if traditions are worth holding on to, if they're not, if people are worth holding on to, is it time for you to cut these people out of your life and leave them be, right? And then you have the Gemini aspect of it, which represents, like I said, people who are twin flames and know each other and they do a lot alike. But what Virgo does is that Virgo goes around the wheel, because Virgo has a relationship, ironically, with every other one of the zodiac, with every other zodiac sign, including, I should say, Virgo itself. It has a relationship with all of them, and there's a mythology with all of them. And I know this because I know a person from each and every single zodiac sign. You know what I mean? I know Cancer crabs, I know Aquarians, I know Geminis, I know Libra. I know at least one person who I've had in my life who was a friend, close friend of each zodiac sign. And I've had to be kind of the in the past, I've had to be the caretaker and kind of like the ground, the rock, even though I'm mutable, kind of be the rock to these people. Because a crab sometimes can be shaky. You know, an Aries or a Ram sometimes, which is an Aries, can be shaky. You know, an Aquarius can be shaky. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius can be very shaky. You know, from my own experiences, and this is why, as I say this all the time, Aquarians, they, you know, air signs are not as ruthless as you would think. They're quite shaky, you know, quiet as is kept, you know, and learning from firsthand experience. So this is how to understand the Virgo man. Understand that this man is ancient in his experiences. Understand that Virgo constellation is ancient, and that if this man is well learned and intelligent and they know what they're talking about, like myself, they've lived many lives, had many experiences. So it doesn't matter how young or how old these people are, you know, they've lived a lot. So that's pretty much it. How to understand the Virgo man.